What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers. Join me here today from the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, Jay McMinn. He's going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals team preview. It's going to be an interesting season out there in Arizona with obviously the brand new look and Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of hype around this team. Can they fulfill it? Can they improve on their 4-13 record from last season? We're going to talk about it. Help me out, my guy, Jay McMinn. Jay, what's going on, brother? How's this team going to do this year? Do you think they're going to get better or maybe get worse? What do you think?
Yeah, thanks, Logan. I appreciate it. We just got through doing a video about Minnesota, and I said that was a team full of questions. And then now we're talking about Arizona, and Arizona is almost like Minnesota's cousin because they have just as many question marks as what Minnesota has. The first question mark for me, quite honestly, is can Kyler Murray stay healthy? That's the biggest damn question. If he can stay healthy, because I think you got Desmond Ridder behind him, and of course you know how well Desmond Ridder did with Atlanta, so that just kind of tells you if Kyler Murray goes down, so does this Arizona Cardinals team go down. So yeah, can Kyler Murray stay healthy? If he can stay healthy, then he finally gets what he always wanted, which is a wide receiver one. They haven't had a good wide receiver one since Larry Fitzgerald. And, Kyler kind of got Larry at the tail end of his career. So you didn't really get a true wide receiver one because he had lost a step. Well, now you got a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., and we know what his dad did with Peyton. Good God. And I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form is Kyler Murray like Peyton Manning. I mean, he could even tie Peyton Manning's shoe without tearing an Achilles or something. I mean, let's just be honest. So with that being said, Kyler Murray's running out of excuses. He really is. This literally is the team for him to have. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. They picked up Zay Jones, but Zay Jones, he got cut by Jacksonville because even Zay Jones has lost a step. So can Zay Jones really be that guy? Does he have to be that guy? Maybe he has to be a good complement. Maybe he's a third down possession receiver type, but they have Dortch for that. So even with that being said, where does Zay Jones fall in? Is he going to be third on the depth chart like Cedric Wilson was for the Cowboys? So there's still some answers beyond Marvin Harrison Jr. as to what this team can be. Obviously, Zach Ertz was beat out by McBride over in week 8 of last season. So now Hurts is kind of on the outs, and now you got McBride in, which is good news for McBride. Could be good news for Kyler Murray if the two of those guys can truly keep that magic after week 8 up. Marvin Harrison Jr. will probably take some pressure off of that as well. Dortch, what does that mean for Dortch? If Marvin Harrison Jr., if they start to double team him, could that then open it up for Dortch, who showed flashes of brilliance last season? So this whole wide receiver group is very interesting to me, but it's also very interesting what can Kyler Murray do with it. And that really is the true test for Kyler Murray if he's going to truly still be the quarterback of the future for the Arizona Cardinals. Next, we look at James Conner. James Conner, good running back, obviously. 208 attempts at 1,040 yards. It's not bad. Even if you get a 1,000-yard running back, you're doing pretty good. 7 touchdowns, averaging 5 yards a carry. I mean, that's not bad. So I think they have a decent run game. They just picked up Trey Benson in the draft at number 66. He was out of Florida, I believe it was. Am I right on that, Logan? Out of Florida?
Florida State.
Where Trey came out of? Okay.
Yeah, Florida State.
Yeah, so he came out of Florida State, Seminole. So, yeah, so you got Trey Benson waiting in the wings, and that could even be a good 1-2 punch with Connors and with Trey Benson. So I'd like to see some good things out of that run game, and the run game definitely will make it easier, not only on Marvin Harrison making his debut, but obviously Kyler Murray coming back from injury. So there's some really good things that are happening on that offense. I look at their schedule. They got Buffalo, Rams, Detroit, San Francisco, Green Bay, Miami, and then San Francisco again. Those are the teams I think they're going to struggle with. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. So could they go 10-7 or possibly 9-6? That would be a huge step up from where they were last year at 4-13. So I do expect to see a little bit better Cardinals this season than what we saw last season. But again, that's all predicated on Kyler Murray staying healthy. God forbid if he gets hurt and they go to Desmond Ridder, oh Lord, then you're definitely looking at another 4-13. I believe. Conservative with Murray last season before he got hurt. They were doing a lot of checkoffs, not really going deep or anything like that. Kyler Murray now has the weapon he can go deep with. And if he can't hit a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. deep, then you really need to cut sling load of Kyler Murray, because let's be honest, another dink and dunk master was Tom Brady. And no way in hell is this guy Tom Brady. So don't think that dink and dunk you can reproduce like they did out there in New England. That ain't going to happen. Not only is it not going to happen, but it'll be a true waste of Marvin Harrison Jr. And if I was Marvin Harrison Jr. and they go back to that same type of thing, I'm definitely going to cut sling load and go find me another quarterback that can actually get me the damn ball. So they're going to have to get away from the conservatisms that they had last year and actually air out this offense and do what they should do if they want to actually get ahead. The last thing I'll add is actually, that was the last thing I had to add. I ran out of stuff to say, Logan. With that, I turn it over to you.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, when I look at this team, very interesting. We know last year was a bit of a whirlwind because Kyler was out for majority of the season. He played in only 8 games last year. He did good in those 8 games. Did pretty solid. Put up nearly 1,800 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5 INTs. Got to work on that. And also was sacked 18 times, Jay, in eight games. So when you look at this team, Kyler, can he stay healthy? But I more so look at the fact of, can the O-line keep him upright?
Yeah.
That's what we talk about a lot with these guys, man, who get hurt, is the O-lines let them down. Just let them down. And he's been sacked a good bit in his career. It's gotten better, but still 18 times last year in only 8 games, 2022, 25 times in 11 games. And also, let's not forget this too, Jay. Kyler hasn't played a full season. Since 2020, he played 16 games. So you hope he can stay healthy and on the field. Obviously, it's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. and the collecting cast. He is going to be the belle of the ball. He's going to be the number 1 target, leading the team in catches and yards, touchdowns. Maybe not touchdowns. He might get McBride, but those are the main 2. It's going to be a heavy dose of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. Who else is going to step up? Will it be Michael Wilson? Will it be Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, as you mentioned, Chris Moore, Zach Pascal? I mean, just kind of a revolving door of who's going to be the next guy up. I don't really have a ringer on who might that be. But you said something, Jay, and this is where I think this team could really get things going, is in the running game. Now, you mentioned they have James Conner, who ran for over 1,000 yards last year, did well. Trey Benson, who they picked up from Florida State. And also they have Michael Carter as a third string listed. Someone who did really well in college and had some good moments when he was with New York, but still it might be a good third down back perhaps. I'm not expecting a whole lot out of him, but if someone gets hurt, I would say he's more so a really good, reliable back to have in there. Rest of the team, looking at guys on the O-line who you got Paris Johnson, Isaiah Adams, Hernandez, Williams. And like I said, when you look at this team, they're big 2. They drafted Harrison. We go defense, though. I want to go over there. Darius Robinson, who they got out of Missouri. Desperately need him, Jay. Desperately need him because the leading guy last season in terms of sacks was Dennis Gardeck, a linebacker. Jay, he had 6. Only had 6. Next guy behind him was 2 other linebackers. They only had 4. As a team, Jay, they only collected 33 sacks in the season. You got to get pressures on the quarterback. You have to have more than 33 sacks in a season if you want to be successful. Rest of this team, we're going to see how they can do. When I look at this roster on defense, you see guys like Zaven Collins, Ballon Nichols, Kaiser White, Sean Murphy Bunting, who I think was a really good pickup that they got last year from where was he? Oh, he was in Tennessee last year, I believe. Tennessee. So I think that's a good pickup for them. Get a little veteran over there. Buda Baker, we know, is a solid player. But honestly, Jay, you mentioned their schedule. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. You got a couple of teams in there that I think they could beat. Obviously, you could beat Carolina. New England's a little bit iffy. You don't know how they're going to look. Minnesota, who we just talked about, you could probably get a win or 2 over them. But I don't see a big improvement from this team. I can see them maybe getting 6 or 7 wins, perhaps. I don't think they're going to crack the playoffs yet, but I just need to see more. I need to see Kyler on the field for a full season, first and foremost. That's important. I need to see how Marvin Harrison Jr. can adapt to the NFL because we see all the time, Jay, these guys get drafted, high picks, especially receivers. They come to the league, they struggle. It remains to be seen, but that's always a possibility. I think that overall, Arizona, slight improvement, nothing too crazy this year, though. I think this is just kind of the building blocks for the future, but I think they'll have a very, very minimal improvement in 2024. Guys, once again, if you enjoyed this episode, like, follow, share, and subscribe, Facebook and YouTube. For my co-host today, Jay McLovin from the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers.